Hello, well, back to you in today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days. In today's video, we'll also have a look at the CFS B2 for the next month. So we'll start off with the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles, and these for the next couple of weeks. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average. So we're going to be quite significantly above average over the next few weeks. We are in for a very warm spell of weather. At the end of the week and into weekend, we might see temperatures peaking at around 30 degrees. That's 86 Fahrenheit on Saturday, start of the weekend. But it will be depending on how much sunshine we get. Overall, the temperatures look like they're lifting up quite significantly through to the bank holiday weekend, and then they're sliding back down again. But it looks like they're staying above average overall. I mean, we do go a bit cooler there through the first week of June with some of the ensemble members, but the white line, which is the ensemble mean, and that's when you get all 20 members of the GFS ensemble and create a mean sort of line out of all of those members, that's still staying above average. So whilst early June looks like it's going to turn cooler, looks like it's still going to be generally on the warmer than average side. But for the weekend, certainly, we are in for some really quite warm weather indeed. Hot weather, perhaps, you would say, at the start of the weekend. Now, in terms of rainfall, loads of dry weather coming up through the rest of this week. But into the weekend, we have got some precipitation spikes. And those spikes there could be a little bit on the thundery side as well. We're going to do the 6th update for the late spring bank holiday weekend this evening. And I'll have a detailed look at the late spring bank holiday weekend. It's an ever-changing and evolving scenario, however, but I do think there could be some thundery potential at some point over bank holiday weekend, but it really will be a case of pinning that down. Overall, very warm and increasingly showery then through to the end of May, and then through the start of June, we've got those precipitation spikes coming through again. So it does look a little bit more unsettled there through the first week of June. And as I say, a little bit cooler, although you wouldn't necessarily say going cooler than average by any means. This is the temperature anomaly for the next week. This is taking us from the 23rd through to the 31st of May, and it's coming out warmer than average through most of Central and Western Europe, cooler than average over in the east, so a real east-west split across Europe. But for the UK, it does look really quite significantly warmer than average. Temperature anomalies there around 2 to 4 degrees above average. Precipitation anomalies for the next week are coming out drier than average as well. These might start trending a little bit wetter, especially so for southern parts of the country over the next few days. We'll keep an eye on them over the rest of this week. But certainly from the week from the 23rd through to 31st of May, the anomaly is drier than average. Here's the GFS of Saturday then. We've got high pressure to our east, and we're drawing up this very warm, if not hot, southerly southeasterly wind. Have got a bit of a thundery low there down to the southwest of the UK, creating some instability. Now through to Sunday, it looks like we keep these thundery lows going generally to the west of us, with high pressure to our east, maintaining these hot southerly southeasterly winds. But by bank holiday Monday, it seems that low pressure is beginning to start to push up from the south of the country and turn things perhaps more widely than south. So this south winds are looking by 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, where we have actually got a thundery area of low pressure sitting over the central part of the country. That implies, possibly as we go further on into bank holiday weekend, have an increasing risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out. But it is an ever-evolving and ever-changing situation this bank holiday weekend. We know it's going to be very warm, especially at the earlier part of it, but then quite what happens, it is still really quite uncertain. It will be a warm bank holiday weekend overall, a hot bank holiday weekend to start off with, but quite how that plays out in terms of rain and thunder, got to wait and see. Through to the middle part of next week, and we've still got the suggestion really that some sort of thundery low close to the south of the country may be keeping showers going there. Further north, we're building in a bit of a ridge through to Scotland, and then it looks like on this particular run of the GFS anyway, that ridge is strengthening through to the early days of June. So this takes us to day 10, which is Friday the 2nd of June, where we have got this ridge here over the country. So that implies drier, warmer conditions come back again later on next week. ECMWF looks like this. High pressure is to our east and low pressures to the west. We're bringing up this very warm, excuse me, if not hot, southerly wind. Through the rest of the bank holiday weekend, it looks like it's gradually turning more unstable. We've got this large sort of flabby low that's stretched out from the UK down towards the Bay of Biscay. There's bound to be some sort of thundery element within this low pressure, but again, I think we've got to wait and see a few more days in terms of the detail of how this is all playing out in terms of rain and thunder over bank holiday weekend. In any case, it does still look very warm up to bank holiday Monday. Beyond that, through to the middle part of next week, well, we start to bring in a little bit more of a westerly influence to the north and west. That is turning things cooler and fresher in the north and west, but for the south and east, that does still look pretty warm, to be honest. And then up to day 10, well, we've still got the ridge here down to the southwest of us, high pressure across the Azores, throwing this ridge up across the UK. So it looks quite pleasant, that. It's a cooler, fresher air mass, because if you follow the isobars back, you can see that the air is actually originating from the middle part of the Atlantic. So it is cooler and fresher, but still close to a ridge of high pressure, so you'd expect a lot of dry and very pleasant conditions with that, with the strong June sunshine continuing. Finally, just having a look at the CFS V2 for the next month. So these are the 500 millibar heights broken down into weekly periods. The first week period taking us from the 23rd through 29th of May. We find a big area of high pressure above average heights centred close to the country. So certainly the CFS V2 is not really seeing much in the way of unsettled and thundery weather for the next week. That's a little bit different compared to what those shorter range charts are going for. But Jetstream is doing something like that. A lot of dry and settled weather with storms probably very isolated in nature, if that one is correct. Week 2 as well, the 30th of May through to the 5th of June, shows that we've got above average heights still continuing there through to the early part of June. So the suggestion, quite a long dry spell actually, with high pressure dominating through into the first week of June. Then we get quite a significant change in week 3. This is the 6th through to the 12th of June. It looks suddenly much more unsettled. So the above average heights are going into the central part of the Atlantic. We've got quite a deep trough in over Scandinavia and also a trough down towards Iberia as well. But Jetstream is probably doing something a bit like that, but it's quite tricky to know. But in any case, it looks like that's turning rather significantly and substantially more unsettled, with low pressure really coming back there from the 6th through to the 12th of June. And then we go through to week 4, which takes us from the 13th to the 19th of June. And we've got low pressure out to our west, we've got high pressure to the east, and we're doing something like that with the Jetstream. So that one looking quite unsettled as well, albeit probably not quite as unsettled as week 3, but I would suspect there is still more rain coming through there. So the CFS wants to produce quite a prolonged spell of dry weather through the remainder of May and into the early part of June, and then it turns significantly more unsettled through to the middle part of June, where there could be some quite useful rain. CFS not making much of this thundery potential over the bank holiday weekend, but the shorter range models certainly do suggest that we are at risk of some quite heavy showers, if not thunderstorms, in what will be a very warm, if not hot, bank holiday weekend. Of course, we are going to do the next update for the bank holiday weekend this evening. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.